The entire human race, consistently on the move, came to a halt. It was a historical moment where the entire world united in their fear of the virus.
There was just a lot of confusion.
It really, makes me anxious about what is coming for every one of us.
It was very stressful. You could always hear like the sirens. So there was always somebody that was fighting just to breathe.
Despite similarities, we experienced differences largely due to national leaderships. How does the same virus look in the developed and developing states of Italy and Nepal?
The epicenter of the outbreak in Europe, Italy, reporting 793 deaths just in the last 24 hours. Its deadliest day since the outbreak.
For the lockdown, my country closed all the borders. We had to stay at home and go out only for primal necessities. And we needed like a certification, a self-certification that we were in good health. We had to wear the mask everywhere.
Supermarkets or pharmacies were open and people were able to go to work there. You couldn't go out, not even for a walk.
The measures were started pretty early on, March 24th itself. So that saved us a lot of lives.
It was almost a curfew outside for the starting month at least during lockdown. To go out to the grocery store or to anywhere really, you needed a special government pass. We started getting a little worse since people stopped staying at home and started moving out a lot more often. The people in charge, the authorities, weren't as strict about the curfew as well. And eventually this led to Nepal breaking the lockdown.
The people in the entire country believe that the government will be responsible for them, right? And even more so during a pandemic, right? The government was doing the testings, but then we only got our results after like 6 weeks into the lockdown. The labor, migrant workers, all these people were losing jobs, right? There were instances where people were not even getting food for like 3 or 4 days. The government was continuously proving itself to be very incompetent and also lacking accountability in various fields.
Italy is coming back, and life is finally returning to the Eternal City.
So after the phase one, the government decided to slowly open other activities and to try to get to normality. So now we can walk outside, but we always have to wear a mask to sanitize our hands. And in like public offices or public places, we have to wear the gloves. So yeah, now it's more like normality, but still it's something you have to keep an eye on.
The Enough is Enough movement. It is a lot to do with standing up against the way the government has been handling the COVID-19 pandemic in Nepal. How the quarantines are so bad and how people are committing suicide within quarantines because the conditions there are so bad. It is also against the government for not being transparent enough with the $1.3 billion budget that it had to tackle the coronavirus pandemic. They weren't able to properly manage a lot of the things that could have been managed with ease with that kind of money. So it was basically a call towards the government for them to be more accountable and transparent when the country really needed it to be.
Just tell the government that yes, enough is enough. Done with your incompetency, done with your lack of accountability. Now we want the change that we deserve. We want the action that we deserve, right? These protesters did not have to be in this protest at all. And they could just be sitting in the comfort of their home, but they risked their lives amid a pandemic that could like potentially kill them or something. They decided to come down, fight this incompetence, not for themselves because they were going fine, but for the people who were not being heard, but for the people who were not being listened to and not being cared of, right?
This was a real calling for everybody who knew what was going on, but didn't have a voice to really push yet. Personally, there was fear involved, but also a sense of responsibility towards my country more than anything else. And when I saw like people my age standing in front of water cannons being arrested just because of a peaceful demonstration against the government, right? that really made me feel like I should be doing more for my country than just sitting at home and waiting for this pandemic to end, because it was not going to end with the government being that irresponsible.
The government really did well with the pandemic. They decided immediately to shut down the entire country. That is really like terrific to say, maybe, but it was necessary.
I was happy that the measures that were taken were working. Probably they could have done better. Maybe they were a bit late, but I think they did a good job in general, because I think they saved a lot of lives, even though in the end more than 30,000 people died until now. So yeah, it's not easy.
It's simply not enough. That's all. Like, it's just not enough in terms of testing, in terms of management, in terms of transparency, in terms of caring about the citizens of the country. It just has not been enough.
That was really not enough. Even in all of these things, right? I think the people, stand for a cause that was not even very much related to them. It was really hopeful that yes, the country that we're going to see in the future, the Nepal that we're going to see in the future, is going to have accountability, is going to question, is going to dissent. So that is one of the most hopeful things,
Even with everything that's been happening. But I see our country's future going where the youth decide to take it right now, because through these protests, I've been able to meet the most wonderful of young people in our community. The pandemic has made me realize a lot of important things.
It made me realize that a lot of people need time for themselves.
I wanted to go home and stay with my family because something was happening and we had to be together.
It really, really, really brought me closer to my family. So I'm really glad.
Realization that you need to be more responsible as a young person living in a country that's going through so much turmoil.
I think that this COVID situation will change something in my country, because there are many issues that needs to be solved, and this is just the beginning of a big change, I hope.